Hello, everyone. It's great to see all of you. Welcome to our Midday Musing. This is our episode number 9, and we have something very exciting for you. I know this past few weeks we've been talking about leadership and habits. Today we just thought we'll do something different. I don't know if you recollect, but a few weeks ago we had asked young women on their perspective of leadership and what they thought was inspiring. So we thought, how about we invite some really dashing young men to our call and hear what they have to say. I want you guys to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you're doing.
I'll go first. So, hi guys, I'm Devon. I'm 27 years old and I work as a customer service representative or a CSR for a logistics company. I graduated with a degree in communications a few years ago. So, I'm trying to find work in that field. That's kind of what I want to do for a living. Just something within the realm of television, broadcasting, ideally that for now.
Hey guys, my name is Andrew. I am 24 years old. I work as a financial advisor for TD. It's one of the banks in Canada. I also go to the University of Toronto and I'm studying environmental science there.
Hi everyone, I am Mark. I'm 21 years old. I am a musician and right now I'm working as a worship leader for our church. And I'm currently in school at Humber to complete my bachelor's degree.
We are so glad that you guys agreed to join us, and we want to hear what you have to say. So Pam, go ahead and take on.
Yeah, we're having these conversations about leadership, and I'm going to ask you, maybe I'll start with Andrew. What is your idea of a leader?
To keep it short, a leader is someone that doesn't leave the place the same way it was before, but actually leaves an impact and people notice it. So that to me is what a leader is.
All right.
Okay. So you mean to say that someone who brings changes to wherever he's placed, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, so good change. Sometimes a place doesn't probably need change. It probably just needs more motivation to grow. Sometimes a place probably does need change, and in that case, a leader makes a difference in that, like more of an impact wherever they go. That's what a good leader to me is.
Okay. All right. Great. Thank you, Andrew. I think I have a question number 2 here that I'd like to ask you guys. So what qualities do you respect in a leader? Any one of you can take on. I believe Devon, Mark, whoever's wanting to share about that.
Yeah, for sure. I'll definitely chime in on that one. So I think one quality that definitely came to mind for me is someone who believes in someone else's potential to grow. I see that because I could look at myself and I think, oh man, like I'm not cut out for X and Y and Z. But then there could be someone else who believes in my potential to do something that I thought I couldn't do. And when you have someone who helps to believe in your potential to grow as a leader and to do something that boosts your confidence. So those are definitely 2 things that I cherish in a leader, 2 qualities. So someone who believes in your potential, but also someone who leads by example.
Right. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Devon. So what I'm hearing you say is you want someone to model and also invest in you and believe in you, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Those are great ways of putting it.
Yeah. So what is the most attractive trait in a leader? Let me see what Mark has to say.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very similar to what Devon was saying. I think there are some traits that you kind of want your leader to have. And I think for me, some of the most attractive traits for me in a leader is if they're humble, they're willing to accept advice from people who are lower than them. They're willing to, to change their opinion if it turns out that a decision they made was wrong. Right. That they're not arrogant, that they can listen to correction, things like that. I think that's very, very important in a leader. And then also that they're just like responsible and they know what they're doing and they're competent and they're reliable, but be humble at the same time to change the plan or, something happens, they have to adapt, right? So those are things that are very attractive to me in a leader.
Yeah. So you want someone with a plan, but they need to be flexible. And you also want to be heard, right? Yeah. Yes. Thank you for sharing that.
I could chime in on that question.
Go ahead.
So to me, a couple of points that I have that I value as traits in leaders is I like someone that is confident. I feel like that's a trait that is very attractive. To me, also, I think a good leader is someone, kind of like Mark and Devon were saying, who is willing to, listen to the people they're leading. And I think that a lot of times, you can come across a leader that just does their own thing and has a set plan in place, but doesn't want to adapt to how the nature of the people they're working with. And there's this quote I read somewhere online. I think it's by Andy Stanley. It says, "Leaders who don't listen will eventually be surrounded by people who have nothing to say." And I feel like the quote makes so much sense to me, because you can have a direction you're going in, but if people who you're leading are not willing to follow you, you're not much of a leader in that aspect.
Right. Right. Leaders need followers.
Okay, wow. I love it. Well, I'm thinking about it, about what the scripture says to young men, right? The scripture encourages you guys. I think in 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 12, it talks about how you have to set an example. Don't let anyone look down on you because you're young. Instead, you actually can set an example in speech, in your life, in your conduct. And so I know there's such a huge responsibility that you guys are going to be carrying in future. And our goal and our aim is to be able to influence that and to encourage that. And so I love what you're saying, and we will definitely take that to heart and with big ears and listen to what you have to say. I do also have another question about, I know that a lot of young men these days and young women, we're so influenced by social media. And social media has taken like most of our attention, right? I don't know how many hours a day we look at the phone, or we look at all these apps that constantly seem to influence us. How important do you think it is for a leader who wants to influence you to understand that aspect, and why?
I can chime in on that question. I think that social media is something that is not going away anytime soon. It's a new platform that, you either adapt to or you fall out of. And I feel a lot of big companies are realizing that. And that's why a lot of companies, especially during this whole COVID season, have been making, apps and, websites and enhancing that part of their online presence. As a leader, if you're not able to adapt to that, it'll be a shortcoming. And so I think it's very, very important to learn how to, especially for the younger generation, how to, in whatever field you're into, I guess, send your point across through social media as well. So it's my understanding of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Does anyone else want to chime in on that?
Yeah, for sure. Just to kind of piggyback off of what Andrew said, I think even just the fact that messages are conveyed through social media at a higher rate than usual is so important. And I find that social media has kind of embedded itself into our everyday lives. Like maybe 2 decades ago, we weren't even on social media back then, but now it's become just a part of our everyday lives. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like there's never a day where I don't get up out of my bed and then I pull out my phone and just scroll through my Instagram feed. But what I'm getting at is that if people are on social media that often and they're making it a part of their everyday lives, then there should be messages that leaders impart to those people that are very important to them and can really infiltrate into their lives. And so I find for leaders that it's similar to what Andrew was sharing, like if leaders are not kind of on that social media train and they're not trying to like invest themselves in different platforms there, then it's easier for them to lose the audience that they're trying to reach out to.
Mm-hmm.
So you're challenging us to be adaptable and that's your mode of communication today. That's
exactly. Yeah. We're in a digital world.
Yeah. So for you to be heard, we older generation need to figure out social media. Is that right?
To put it in perspective, we're on Zoom right now. We're not.
That's right. We're learning.
We're not face to face. So without social media, this wouldn't be possible. So
and I'm sure this is going to be posted everywhere
right.
that we can, right? So.
Right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So what a way to communicate today.
That is so true.
Talking about the trends that are happening, we also see a lot of women in leadership today. And we just want to find out, what is your view of that? How do you feel about that? We know when I read through scripture, I see Jesus with a lot of women. But how do you guys feel about women in leadership? And what are your thoughts? Would anyone like to speak into that?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I can speak to that. I think myself being in an arts business and being in music, being in the arts, I have a lot of relationships with a lot of women as a part of my career,
right.
Business relationships and things like that. A lot of my professors at school are women. I personally believe in equality of opportunity. So I don't think that anyone should be denied an opportunity to audition, to try out, to interview for a position or anything like that. I think women should be granted absolutely equal opportunity in any leadership position. And I think that, women often thrive. So I'm all for it.
Yeah. Well, it's very encouraging to hear that. Anyone else wanted to add on that?
I think just the end part of what Mark said, look, I mean, if there's equal competence on both sides, I think that, yes, like women should be given equal opportunity. And I don't think that should be a question. I think that it's just like, yes, older society back in the day wasn't like that, but I feel like nowadays with education and people being more educated and understanding that both men and women, I feel that, yes, equal opportunity should mean equal competence.
So what I'm hearing is that you guys are not threatened by women leading alongside you.
No, not at all. I think
Okay.
actually, it's interesting because a lot of times we'll hear, oh, it's 2020 or whatever, and really I think what we're seeing with the advent of women really rising up in the workforce and everything like that is that this is really how it should be, and I do think that there are a lot of talented women out there who can really teach a lot of us men things too. So really, we shouldn't shy away from the potential that women have in the workforce, because I think they can really bring a lot to the table. And similar to what Mark and Andrew were sharing, like really, it's just about equality and making sure that their voices and their skills are brought to the table as well.
Great.
Yeah. Well, I've learned a lot today. What do you think, Rita?
Oh, yes. I'm all ears and I'm listening. And I'm so glad that, we were able to have this time with you guys.
Yeah. Yeah. I think what I've learned is social media is the way that I can reach you almost every single day. Like Devin said, he looks at it every day and he can hear me through it. And number two, what I learned from Mark is he is looking for someone, and Andrew too. I think Devin, you touched on this, someone to invest in you, have a plan, be competent, but be flexible. You want to be heard also. So it's almost like you want to be led, but you want someone to pull you alongside you and listen to your opinion, help you understand, and then get you to some place. Am I right? That's what I've learned.
Right. Yep. Yeah.
Awesome. I actually just want to end with Acts 2. It says the Spirit is going to be poured out on all people, and it says your sons and daughters will prophesy. So we are going to be sitting at your feet and learning. So thank you for your wisdom.
All right, guys, I think we are coming to the end of the musing today. I know that this is such a huge topic and leadership is never ending. We're always growing and evolving, as I say, but we got a little tidbit today, a little nugget on how to influence the future generation. And we believe in being able to influence. And so I just really want to thank you guys again. You guys are wonderful. I hope you have great futures and that God will use you in amazing ways and bring all your talents out and help you influence many, many people. Thank you for joining us today. And thank you all to all our viewers whose continued support and encouragement. And we will see you next week.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you for having